Hi guys. So last year, I stood here and we showed you a video of this crazy game we're making called No Man's Sky. This year, I guess I really just wanted to show you how it plays.
Whoa, buddy, I clicked on a Cyberpunk video. Shh. Listen. This is roughly how my creative process goes. I wake up and I thank God for giving me yet another glorious day on this f***ing earth. I then stagger into my 40-pound gaming chair where I start schizophrenically typing. Oh, yeah, this is good stuff. Oh, this is get the people going. Yeah. Yeah, this is good. So, bear with me, the voices in my head know exactly what we're doing. No Man's Sky was set to be bigger than the second coming of Jesus. I should know. I was hyped. I was sold. I was there. For all of it. Space battles, multiplayer exploration, 18 quintillion planets, which would apparently take 584 billion years to explore. In real life. In No Man's Sky, you play as John Sky as you explore the far reaches of space with no man. I think. Even billionaire Twitter shitposter Elon Musk was hyped for it. Oh.
All right, guys, we have a lot of world premieres still to go. We got Hello Games' first next-gen game. It's called No Man's Sky.
We should know what's gonna be in this game.
Not all.
Well,
it's
no, it's procedurally generated.
Yeah, there
it's
are
totally
millions,
random.
Millions of planets.
Let's talk about procedurally generated and how bullshit that is.
No.
It's like 18 quintillion planets.
I need a hook. I need the thing of No Man's Sky. I need to know, okay, we're getting to the center of the galaxy, great, but then what am I doing? I'm going to a planet and I'm just smelling the flowers and then I fly somewhere else? What is happening in this game?
No space battles, no multiplayer, can't play as a space pirate, can't play as a trader, can't name your ship, and my God, the bugs and glitches in this game.
And my game crashed. What do you know?
The soil is not alien. And the game fucking...
It's like that, huh?
We've made it to the center.
We're jumping.
Alright.
It was a far cry from what was promised. No Man's Sky was, at the time, the second biggest PlayStation 4 launch of all time. What followed afterwards was one of the biggest drop-offs in player number history, with UK sales dropping by 81% only 2 weeks after release. Steam numbers dropped from 212,000 concurrent players to just over 2,000 players less than a month after release. And I bore witness to what was, at the time, the single biggest gaming crucifixion I had ever seen. At the time. Negative Steam reviews, lawsuits, blah 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 blah, an official investigation from the ASA, although they were cleared of any false advertising, death threats, stalking from fans, doxing of personal information, and studio... Oh, great! But what does any of this have to do with Cyberpunk? Nothing. Not a word from Hello Games. Despite the disastrous launch of the game, No Man's Sky had made tens of millions. And so Sean Murray and his team over at Hello Games were confronted with two options. Take the money, run to start a new project, leave millions of players worse off while being hated by the gaming community forever, or picking themselves up, getting back to work, and with potentially no promise of a future profit, righting their wrongs and finishing what they started. Nothing. No timeline of patches or updates. Most people were convinced that they ran away with the money. And who can blame them? Nothing.
Sky finally did it. After more than 8 years of fixes, updates, and new features, No Man's Sky finally hit a milestone that seemed impossible when this game first launched in 2016. It has a very positive
It's
rating on
happened
Steam.
8 years after a terrible launch. No Man's Sky has reached a very positive rating on Steam.
And they've just constantly pushed up so many updates to the game that it's honestly crazy. First of all, that all the updates they've pushed is free and none of it's DLC. So you just have to buy the game and you can play it forever. And there's so much content in the game now that it's kind of crazy.
Someone at Valve, who was a fan of the game, said to me, "What you do now is more important than what you say. There's only one thing that's credible, and that's your actions."
No Man's Sky did it. No Man's Sky achieved. Few games have left an impact on me quite like even 6 years later, I find myself still referring back to Red Dead Redemption 2. Stubbornness to change, the pursuit of success at all costs, redeeming past wrongs. These have all been extremely relevant themes in my own personal life. Both Red Dead Redemption games have so many themes in them that analyzing them all would take literal months of contemplation. This segment of the video alone has taken me over a month to properly curate around the theme of... God, I love cutting to that song. In this game, you play as John Redemption as you redeem things that are red. I don't know. Look, horseballs. They shrink in the cold. Anyways, Arthur Morgan is not a good man.
You saved my life. You're a good man, and here. You want a pen? It's one of them steel ones.
Oh. That's very kind of you. But I'm not a good man, Jimmy Brooks. Not usually. You see, I was in Blackwater. I kill people. And maybe I should have killed you. Should I have killed you, Jimmy Brooks?
Me? I never saw you. Not now, not never. I think we have an understanding.
Of course we do. Jimmy Brooks. I will remember that. I've got a good memory.
Ish. Arthur Morgan is not a good man-ish. From the outside looking in, Arthur Morgan is nothing more than hired muscle for an extremely violent and notorious gang on the run from the law. Tough, rigid, intimidating, ruthless, and unfeeling. This is how Arthur Morgan even sees himself. Despite being adopted/indoctrinated into the Vanderlyn gang by Dutch and Hosea from teenhood, Arthur was under no illusion as to the morality of his deeds. Here is Arthur attempting to collect on a loan belonging to the Vanderlyn gang.
Please, please, no.
You borrowed money from my business partner, Herr Strauss. You owe him, you took the money. He wants it back, what's not to understand? Where's our money?
I don't have it.
Sell your place.
We already owe more than it's worth.
Then sell your wife, or your family, or something. We ain't your idea of charity. Is that clear?
Thomas!
What are you looking at?
Thomas!
I said what you looking at, woman.
My husband isn't well. If we could just have more...
Like I said, we ain't nobody's idea of charity. Get us the money.
Thomas Downs, the man lying face first in the mud, later dies of his injuries, and Arthur still returns weeks later to collect from the now widowed Miss Downs.
My husband's not cold in the ground and you've come back here. Archie, I nearly paid off what was owed.
Your husband knew the rules when he took that money. Now, I'm real sorry about the way things turned out, but he had a choice. Ain't my fault about the way the world is.
He didn't have a choice. He was good and he did good. There wasn't no choice in that. And you as good as killed him yourself, and don't kid yourself. You had a choice.
You speak as if killing was something I cared about.
You ever wonder about eternity? You should.
I hope it's hot and terrible, Mrs. Downs. Otherwise, I'll feel I've been sold a false bill of goods. Now, please, give me that money. Ah, Mrs. Downs, thank you for your punctuality. It's next to godliness, isn't it?
That's cleanliness.
I'll have to take your word on that. Good day.
You speak as if killing was something I cared about. A powerful line, speaking to the amorality of Arthur Morgan's life philosophy. Further evidenced by his mocking of Miss Downs' mention of hell, not necessarily because Mr. Morgan is not religious or does not respect Christianity, but speaking further to his cold pragmatism. A feral, uncivilized philosophy rooted in survival first. And his survival, as well as the survival of the gang, always comes first, especially at the cost of others. He does not care for killing. Much in the same way that a wolf will kill a deer to feed its cubs, to the detriment of the deer and its fawn, Arthur sees his actions as just and necessary. Arthur's entire code of ethics revolves around Dutch's teachings of family loyalty. For Arthur to slowly turn his back on Dutch in his later journey of redemption would mean all of his past actions would cease to be just.
What is it?
It's not good news.
I guess that.
You got tuberculosis. Really sorry for you, son. It's a hell of a thing.
What do you mean?
You're real sick. It's a progressive disease, and you'll be... Now, the best thing is rest, and getting somewhere warm and dry and taking it easy. Now, is that possible?
Arthur Morgan is rocked to his core. He contracts tuberculosis in the most karmic way possible, by the hand of his own deeds. Based off his conversation with Miss Downs, us as the player would have been fooled into thinking Arthur Morgan was not afraid of death. And he wasn't. Until now. For the first time in his life, his eyes are open. He is forced to confront the morality of his past actions and how he chooses to navigate his moral compass going forward. And so Arthur Morgan is confronted with two options. Continue as he always has, a rigid, unfeeling brute who chooses not to exercise his agency, while the illness rots him from the inside out. Or, picking himself up, and with absolutely no prospect of self-gain, attempting to correct 20 years' worth of past wrongs. Morgan starts acting more charitably, donating his time and money to others outside of the gang for the first time in his life, even offering money to the Downs family later on in the game to start a new life after Arthur destroyed their old one.
House. Start over. Here, take this. I don't need it no more.
I don't want your money.
Yeah, I know you don't want it.
I don't.
You sure as shit need it. Take it.
No.
I ain't looking for forgiveness. It ain't about that. But don't forgive me. Just take the money and get out of here, please. I know I ruined your life. I suffer for it every day. But don't let yourself get killed for pride. I seen it kill too many folk. Don't say anything. Don't thank me. Just take the money and pack your bags. That's all I gotta say.
Thank you, Mr. Morgan.
I said don't thank me. Get out of here. Please.
But Arthur only has 6 months to live, and he's been in the game for 20 years. Can Arthur Morgan be a good man despite his checkered past? Can Cyberpunk be a good game despite its checkered past? Hey, you see what I did there? 6 months of good to atone for 2 decades of wrong. An impossible task that even Arthur concludes is simply not possible. You just can't. All the lawmen he's killed, all the civilians he's robbed. See, that's kind of the funky thing about redemption. All you can do is take a gamble that love exists and do a loving act.
Morgan! Are you okay?
Well, never better. What are you doing here?
Well, I'm on my way down to Mexico. They're finally sending me on a mission. Brother Dorkins is very jealous. What's wrong?
I'm dying, sister.
Okay.
Yeah, I got TB. I got it. Beating a man to death for a few bucks. I've lived a bad life, sister.
We've all lived bad lives, Mr. Morgan. We all sin. But I know you.
You don't know me.
Forgive me, but that's the problem. You don't know you.
What do you mean?
I don't know, but whenever we happen to meet, you're always helping people and smiling.
I had a son. He passed away. I had a girl who loved me. I threw that away. My mama died when I was a kid. And my daddy, well, I watched him die. And it weren't soon enough.
My husband died a long time ago. Life is full of pain. But there is also love and beauty.
What am I gonna do now?
Be grateful that for the first time, you see your life clearly.
Sure.
Perhaps you could help somebody. Helping makes you really happy.
But I still don't believe in nothing.
Often, neither do I.
Huh?
But then I meet someone like you, and everything makes sense.
You're too smart for me, sister. I guess I'm afraid.
There is nothing to be afraid of, Mr. Morgan. Take a gamble that love exists and do a loving act.
All aboard! I shall try.
I know you will.
Arthur says it himself. I still don't believe in nothing. And to the nun, that means absolutely nothing to her. She still compels him to act without expectation. To take
a gamble that love exists and do a loving act.
After this scene, Arthur no longer is weighing his good deeds against his sins in a bid for redemption. He is now doing good things because it is simply the right thing to do. And the reason why it's so powerful is because redemption does not correct past wrongs. It only guides future good. Sister Calderon's words protected him against the disappointment of not being able to receive forgiveness for his change of heart from those he hurt in the past. Her words also protected Arthur Morgan from expecting to be able to reverse the consequences of his past actions. It is a heavy life lesson. What's done is done, and what's done cannot be undone. He is dead, and there is no amount of future deeds that will resurrect him. Unless, hey, listen, me and my pipe dreams, alright? Obviously, Rockstar Games is allergic to making awesome DLCs like they used to, for some fucking reason. God damn it.
I tried. In the end, I did.
And so, what's the decision that you make? You decide to believe. It's a risk, an existential risk. It's an act of faith. You believe that the truth can set you free. You believe that people have an intrinsic divinity about their soul. You decide that you're going to live in that manner and that you're going to let everything about yourself that isn't worthy of that goal die. And that might be almost everything that you are. And that's a terrible thing to contemplate.
It's midnight. Anyways, I don't like wasting the audience's time by self-indulging. Redemption is like looking in a McDonald's mirror. The harsh light exposing the truth of your pimply, blemished, imperfect skin. Redemption is a lonely, humbling, uncomfortable, and ultimately thankless road to look at yourself in a more harsh and critical light. It demands that you relive all of your most depraved and embarrassing moments. The road to redemption sucks. It's extra effort with no guarantee of praise or retribution or acknowledgement. I'm not the same person that I was even 5 months ago, let alone 5 years ago. I have hurt people, and it has come back to bite me, and I have achieved redemption. But at many points I have been denied forgiveness. Oh, but I clicked on the Cyberpunk video and I could have snidely written about the various bugs and glitches that were there on day one, including the time that they spelled night wrong. I could have spent the last however many minutes talking about the botched release of Cyberpunk and how there was investor pressure for them to release the game way before it was ready, but simply comparing the game to how bad it was and comparing it to how good it is now would not have done this video game essay review thing justice. Partly because I like being subversive, but also because in a way I feel like giving you the perspective of CD Projekt Red would have been antithetical to the overarching theme of redemption. Yes, you fixed the issue and you stopped doing bad things, congratulations, good, here's a gold sticker. This story has been told literally hundreds of times in the video game industry alone. I could have swapped out the redemption arc of Cyberpunk for any myriad of video game launch disasters that we've seen in the last 10 years alone. I love Cyberpunk now, but it's 4 years late. And honestly, apart from the story being good, the game itself is really nothing special. A lot of the people you hurt will rarely stick around long enough to see your redemption arc. Although it seems callous and unfair to compare your past self to your now healed self, a lot of people just don't care about your personal journey of self-healing and growth. A lot of that stuff is personal, it's introspective, the change happens within you. Meaning, in more ways than one, no one ever really gets to see all the hard work that you've put into cultivating real change. And even when they do, change takes time. And a lot of things can change with time. Let me get more space for the Rocket League gameplay. I don't know what I'm going to put, maybe GTA gameplay? maybe. My hype and hope died for Cyberpunk back in 2021. I remember pre-ordering 3 copies for Cyberpunk months in advance. I watched every lore video, analyzed every single gameplay trailer. Originally, this channel was actually meant to be a Cyberpunk-based channel. I would switch on my PS4 every single day for at least a good year and a half, just trying to sift through the weeds of bugs and glitches, trying to unearth that seed of a good game that I knew was there, before being unceremoniously kicked out by a fucking game crash. So many days of pain and disappointment, combined with the passing of time, have just sort of forced me to move on. And by the time an apology arrived in the form of a finished product, I was gone. My argument can be boiled down into 2 oversimplifications. 1, aiming to correct your past wrongs in the name of redemption and forgiveness is super, super cool. But 2, just because you've achieved redemption does not mean that you're entitled to forgiveness. Now, I acquiesce, they didn't have to do anything. You don't have to do anything. Hello Games were cleared by the ASA. They didn't have to do anything. They didn't have to fix the game. Arthur Morgan got away with years of shooting and robbing people. He didn't have to start being good and start giving back to charity. He didn't have to do anything. The team over at Hello Games knew this, which is why they kept quiet for 4 months whilst they worked in silence. They knew that no one would care. No one wanted to hear about how PlayStation added investor pressure on Hello Games to launch No Man's Sky earlier than it needed to be. No one wanted to hear about how many lawsuits they had to fight throughout the development stage. No one cares. I don't care. Again, it's super harsh and callous, but I'm only pointing out a fundamental truth about life that I have come to learn firsthand multiple times. You can try and guide people to understanding, but you cannot force them into it. People will remember how you